Hello, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. Well, many of us for many years voted, protested, and fight back to control the immigration at the border and all over the world. We're tired of an immigration policy that puts American citizens last. We're tired of a policy that is aimed at Western countries to basically change the culture and the voting habits of those societies, whether it's Las Vegas, London, Paris, and Berlin. And we're tired of promises after promises to solve the problem, whether it's massive chain and diversity lottery immigration or illegal aliens trying to sneak into our country and using phony excuses like our asylum laws to get into the United States. So this is an article from Breitbart. And by the way, I don't want to be misunderstood. I don't trust a lot of these news organizations. I'm possibly aware that Breitbart is twisting information, and not to mention the fact that it could be over-exaggerating things. But nevertheless, every news agency does have some truth and merit to it. And speaking of merit, America needs to limit the number of immigrants based on what it needs and have a merit-based immigration system. The more likely you know English, the younger you are, in your 20s, the skills that you have, the higher chance you can come into the U.S. But this is not happening. And according to this article, the U.S. is projected to add 1.5 million illegal aliens to the population this year. And speaking of immigration, it was just noted that TPS was extended to Liberia and many other countries last month. So whatever happened to make America great again? See, this is why throughout my YouTube channel, I did not praise the president so much, because I don't trust a lot of these people. Now, they talk about it. They wake people up, just like Bernie Sanders wakes people up about income and wealth inequality. But guess what? Many of their track records and many of the things that they do are not necessarily helpful. Now, of course, you can argue that he has tried. He's declared a national emergency. He has shut down the government. However, things are not working in the U.S. Our country is being flooded. And because of the courts, because of our phony asylum laws, this is what we get. And we've got a large portion of the population that's saying, oh, they have the right to be here. This is our asylum and all this nonsense. It's bullcrap. They come here for generous welfare programs, to have an anchor baby. They come here to take jobs disproportionately from American citizens using fake social security number. They come here to vote for corrupt politicians, mainly on the Democrats, and they mainly come here to send money abroad. When are people going to finally fight back, folks? This is out of control. And guess what? Stop focusing on politicians. Stop focusing on getting things done. Because you need to confront these politicians. You need to organize in your communities. And you need to make sure that we can march on the streets and demand an end to lawlessness. And you need to spread alternative media outlets like this one. So that way, if the mass media calls us racist, bigots, homophobes, or whatever, that we have the truth out. And that we have a community that spreads the information. But unfortunately, things are not really getting better. Now look at this, 1.5 million illegal aliens by the end of this year because of catch of release, border crossings, and visa overstays. Now, first of all, people think, oh, well, they're building the wall, they're coming over here. The wall is not enough. You need to e-verify. You need to tax remittances. You need to end the birthright citizenship welfare system. Okay? And because they're being overflooded, they're releasing them into the U.S., and I can assure you that many of the politicians and corporations and unions here in Las Vegas are working very, very hard to make sure that these illegal aliens, these cockroaches, come into our communities. Haven't we had enough? Folks, I'm getting really just alarmed by this. And if this gets out of control, I'm having a good life, I'm healthy, I'm making money in the stock market. I probably should just get out of this country and move somewhere else, because this is getting out of control. This country is possibly done. Look at it, the multiculturalism, the gender destruction, the prescription drug addicts, the obesity. This is just getting out of control. 36,000 border crossers have been released. This is out of control, folks. And there will probably be about 500,000 illegal aliens. This is insane. And guess what? This is because the Soroses and all these special interest groups are funding these caravans. So we've got this immigration settlement that's about control, but then the opposite side counteracts through a lot of levels. They pump in more people, and they pump a lot of money into the midterm elections. And look, you got 630,000 illegal aliens added who are overstaying their visas. That's why the 11 million is misleading. So we've got possibly about 25 million illegal aliens. Folks, I don't really think politicians are going to help. What's going to have to happen is an economic disaster, an economic crisis, a debt crisis, something where we cannot afford the interest on the national debt because the interest rates are going to have to go up, or something as in technological advances of labor so that these illegals can't get jobs. And we're not going to be able to have enough support to support their welfare programs if they can't work. Now, they talk about increased deportations. That's not doing much. You have to reduce the incentive of these illegals staying into the U.S. And what about all the anchor babies? You see, they want to pump more illegals, so then 20 years later, we'll have another round of amnesty, another round of DACA, folks. These people don't really care, especially on the left. When are people finally going to wake up? The border crisis is real, and not much is being done about it. Folks, again, you have to wake up to the tragedy of what is exactly happening. And remember, this is the politicians. This is Wall Street. This is the corporatocracy that we live in. This is the global immigration plan. They are behind us. You need to put your frustration and anxiety among the corporations and among the politicians. Because if you're just going to yell at random people, that alone isn't going to do enough. That's why I try to approach Beto O'Rourke, because he's pumping all this. He's not fighting back against Wall Street as far as I know. He is in the pockets of most likely of these people. When are people finally going to wake up? And by the way, we're going to get more of these people. It's going to fill up our districts, and it's going to make states like Nevada even worse. And before you know it, Arizona and Texas are going to be in critical situation, and this country is going to be done. I don't know what to tell you, man. I think this country should just split up. It's getting really, really out of control. And you take a look at this. Wages are being torn away. You can see here, wealth inequality continues to accelerate. These people on the left who want to talk about fighting Wall Street, they need to control immigration. Because even Bernie Sanders admits he's against open borders because it's a Koch brothers proposal. And look at all the welfare payments, all the public schools, all the hospitals, all the WIC programs. Haven't we had enough of this? When is it going to take for people to finally wake up? Talk to your neighbors, knock on doors, have marches, get something done. And before I finish this video, folks, the bottom line is that our foundation is corrupt top to bottom. And this is why more ever I think that perhaps the resource-based economy, the zeitgeist movement, is the way to go. And many of you guys argue that this is communist. Well, the differential of birth rates and the immigration lobby of cheap labor and monetary gain is due to our money monetary system. And maybe if that thing goes away, well, perhaps the power structure that be will disappear. And this is why I think the limited immigration lobby, the so-called white nationalist or these white advocacy groups like American Renaissance, they probably need to get together with Peter Joseph and fight for this movement. Because forget it, man, you have too much money on the top, and they're not going to limit our immigration levels. And I've heard Trump has advocated increasing immigration levels. Whatever happened to his immigration policies? Folks, do something. Spread this video. Spread this channel. Subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much.